A lovely afternoon to you. Thank you for joining us on Nationwide. I am Ogochkuka Ona, and I do hope we are all refreshed after this Salah holiday. Welcome. President Bola Tinubu is back in Abuja after a 2-week break in Lagos. The presidential plane landed at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport at about 10 minutes past 2 this Tuesday afternoon. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, and Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, led a delegation to receive the President on arrival. During his Salah break in Lagos, the President inaugurated the 30-kilometer Phase 1, Section 1 of the Lagos-Calabar Highway. President Tinubu also inaugurated the deep-sea port access road at Dangote Refinery Junction to enhance the marine and blue economy sector of the country. Apart from other roads and bridges inaugurated across the country, he also flagged off new projects for execution. Economic reforms in the last 2 years of the present administration have been adjudged as largely successful owing to slowing inflation, GDP and currency growth, in addition to increased investor confidence, among other indicators. This is the view of the Independent Media and Policy Initiative during a World Press Conference in Abuja. Benny Adams reports.
For 2 years, the economic winds across Nigeria have been swift with unfamiliar currents. But today, key players in Nigeria's economy say the challenging times are in fact laying the groundwork for a brighter future, which is already here.
The immediate reflection of the positive move inherent in the unification of the foreign exchange windows is the increase in revenue for states and local governments and a reduction in public debt. The federal government revenue rose by 82.4% from 6.8 trillion in 2023 to 12.4 trillion in 2024, driven by the unification of the foreign exchange rate, enhanced tax administration, and reforms in treasury remittances, according to data sourced from the World Bank.
Dr. Akinsiju believes that the removal of the petroleum subsidy and the unification of the nation's multiple foreign exchange windows, among other reforms, is a test of political will which is yielding results that have never been recorded in 2 years of any administration since 1999.
In those 2 years, we can testify by verifiable data that Nigeria have recorded a substantial economic restructuring in measures beyond the contemplation of the various advocacies around restructuring demanded of Nigerian leaders of the past 26 years.
Dr. Akinsiju believes that with energy independence on the horizon, green shoots in agriculture, a healthier treasury, and a global confidence rebound, in addition to jobs on the rise, Nigeria is on the path of sustainable growth. The Independent Media and Policy Initiative appeals to government to ensure that these hard-won gains translate into tangible improvement for every Nigerian. In Abuja, Benny Adams, NTA News.
The newly renovated and now named Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center has been inaugurated with a call on potential users of the edifice to be ready to pay for proper sustainability. The president stated this during the official inauguration of the project, and Noze Yakubu reports that the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike says that the rehabilitation work was completed within 18 months, giving the entire conference a facelift as obtainable in other developed climes. The president commended the minister, describing him as a transformational leader that is changing the narratives on infrastructure development in the FCT.
We are determined to renew infrastructure across the key sectors of this country: transportation, healthcare, education, energy, and urban development. Because we understand that modern infrastructure is the backbone of a thriving economy and an inclusive and progressive society. The International Conference Center is part of our country's larger vision to become a hub for regional diplomacy, continental trade discussions, global partnership, and many more.
We'll bring you details of that report in our subsequent bulletins. And now, the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, no doubt, is a giant leap towards massive and eco-friendly infrastructure development in the country. When completed, the highway and other ongoing road constructions nationwide will add to the country's GDP. Bolaji Akim, in this report, takes a look at the merits of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road.
The 750-kilometer Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway is a brainchild of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The highway connects 9 states across the country, creating trade integration, easy movement of goods and services. With other massive significant infrastructures around the coastal highway, Nigerians and other users of the road will experience smooth motoring.
It's going to reduce the man-hour of the labor and time that is expended on the roads when people move goods from Lagos to the Niger Delta and further up.
Built with concrete pavements to reduce emissions and earning carbon credit for Nigeria, it is also designed to produce clean energy through installation of solar lights and trees planted along the routes.
We're going to have a relief station where you have supermarkets, small clinic, you have towing vans, you have parking lots for cars and trucks and so on and so forth. And we are passing through the coast where water is very friendly with concrete. Asphalt, we just fell under a very high moisture.
With the inauguration of the first section of the coastal highway by President Bola Tinubu, stakeholders are optimistic that Nigerians will benefit from the renewed hope initiative of the present administration. In Lagos, Bolaji Akim, NTA News.
Let's now join Larry Belei in Lagos for an update on the benefits of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. Yes, Larry, so what is the ambience there? Is construction work ongoing?
Well, Ogochikuka, construction work is still ongoing. After all, they've just done only 30 kilometers of the 750. So construction work is definitely going on. But we've talked about the socioeconomic importance of this road. We've talked about the integration it's going to bring. We should also talk about the carbon credit that is retained in this road. Let's start with the obvious, the concrete pavements that I'm standing on right now, as my cameraman is taking the shots. This, concrete pavements, research have shown that it's very good for coastal roads. It's the best for coastal roads. Why? It is resilient against salt water. And any water, it is resilient against them. Because of its durability, it will also participate in driving or mitigating the ocean surge being experienced by the coastal areas in Lagos State. And apart from that, do you know that the concrete pavements also absorb CO2, it absorbs carbon dioxide, and it also has a traction. So cars plying the road on this pavement will use less fuel. There's less burning of fuel, and that's good for the environment, burning less fuel. And it's also recyclable, although asphalt is recyclable. But, the plus is that concrete pavement is also recyclable. You can recycle it, and it is friendly for landfill areas, waste areas where there are waste, they are using it for landfill. Concrete pavements can stay there confidently and comfortably. And apart from that, it reflects sunlight. It does not absorb sunlight unlike the asphalt. So this will mitigate what we call heat island. It will limit it because, asphalt, because of the texture and the nature of asphalt, it often absorbs heat. But with concrete pavement, it reflects it. And that is why solar light is very good on concrete pavement, because it reflects the solar light, a little bit of light, and the whole place is lit up. Unlike the asphalt where you have to bring in heavy light. So low power bulbs, low power energy can work on the concrete pavement. And that is why, as I'm talking to you, they are erecting solar energy, and that is a carbon credit for Nigeria. And apart from that, they are going to plant trees, because my colleague said it in his report. There's going to be trees all the way around there, and that is good. And apart from that, the solar energy, I mentioned the solar energy, and the federal government is working closely with the Ministry of Environment to know the extent where they can go with this, road, because the Ministry of Environment will be a guide that, well, this wildlife, you have to realign here, you have to do this and do this to protect the environment. Ogochukwu.
Yes, Larry, that's a lot. Very, very important route there. So just briefly or succinctly, can you tell us the significant economic impact of this route on the people?
Well, it's enormous. I don't think I have the time to start highlighting them, but let me mention some. On this road, there will be rail. On this road, it is designed to retain hotel tourism. On this road, there will be toll gating. On this road, there will be seaports. It will assess marine economy. It's a lot. It's like it's a slingshot of a project that you pull it out and you kill 3, 2, or 4 birds.
All right, Larry, are you done? Okay, thank you so much, Larry, for that update. And while we leave you here, we'll now go over to the studio where we have our Yusuf Jibo to tell us more on the stories that are trending in that zone.
Oh, thank you.
Nation in Nigeria is the longest in her 65 years of independence from colonial rule. Larry Gbeleyi takes a look at the gains and challenges of 26 years of civilian rule.
Transitioning from military to civilian rule in 1999 was an inevitable development. Our socio-economic and political trajectories indicate this. It has been 26 years of democratic journey. The gains include increased citizen participation, periodic elections, and transition of power, a vibrant civil society, human rights progress, people-centered infrastructural projects and policies, recognition of geopolitical zones in decision-making, and economic development policies and programs.
Also, recapitalization is also still going on, even as we speak. A strong banking system or a strong financial system is critical to development. So that is understandable why we're doing that. And we've been able to sustainably hold our financial services system to a certain level of growth that has supported the economy in its own way.
Challenges that continue to hinder the full realization of democratic dividends include electoral malpractices, insecurity, corruption, and ethnic religious divisions. Many scholars are convinced that these issues can be tackled through national integration.
All of us have common interests: good roads, good educational system, functioning hospitals. If that is the basis on which state government interact with local government, state government interact with the federal government, local government interact with state government, local government interact with federal government interact with state government, federal government interact with local government. On the basis of this service delivery, we would really be talking in terms of the problem that we are talking about now.
The Renew Hope initiative of the present administration targets national integration from interlinking road projects, agricultural and empowerment programs to tax reforms and local government autonomy. In Lagos, Larry Gbeleyi, NTA News.
Nigeria's current enrollment for the National Identity Number NIN is about 120 million, which is not up to 50% of the estimated population. And the National Identity Management Commission is working out modalities to gain traction by the end of the year, in line with the directive of President Bola Tinubu to register all eligible Nigerians. Joel Popola reports that modalities have been finalized to achieve this target.
The directive by Mr. President is clear. Every Nigerian should be enrolled for the national identity number, and to achieve this, NIMSI is adopting a holistic approach with the involvement of all stakeholders, especially the Ministry of Youth and Women Affairs across the Federation. NIMSI says over 35,000 core members and other ad hoc staff will be deployed to the 774 local government and 8,809 wards to fast-track the process after a thorough training. The Director General of NIMSI says having a robust database of Nigerians is important for national and economic planning.
We're going down to the ward level, so we're trying to make sure that we're bringing enrollment closer to the people and bridging the distance between them enrolling at the local government office or our state offices. So it's a lot easier for people to go out and get their enrollment done. So we have a lot planned.
Front-end partners who are part of the critical stakeholders that achieved the 120 million milestone remain strategic partners, and compliance with rules is the reason for this interaction.
We already have a working pattern with them, which they know. We have a contract with them and what they should do and what they should not do, in line with the NIMSI Setup Act.
With expectations high, the Commission is determined to deliver, and it behoves on all stakeholders to be on the same page. In Lagos, Joel Bukwola, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Lagos. Nationwide will continue in Jos after this timeout. Don't go away.
Welcome to Jos. The Senior Special Assistant to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Community Engagement North Central Zone, Dr. Abiodun Esiet, has officially launched the Presidential Community Engagement Peace Initiative in Jos. The program aims at promoting sustainable peace in the region. Ndayang and Debagang reports.
The North Central region has in recent times grappled with insurgency, leading to wanton destruction of lives and property. The North Central Peace Summit, which brought together key stakeholders across the region, aims at promoting reconciliation, mutual understanding, and addressing communal tension through inclusive dialogue and collaboration. The Senior Special Assistant to President Tinubu on Community Engagement, North Central, Dr. Abiodun Esiet, the summit and the launch of the Presidential Community Engagement Peace Initiative will chart a way forward in addressing the incessant attacks in the region.
Groups will be set up across the 110 local governments of the North Central region, which will have direct connection with my office in channeling concerns and also building sustainable peace within this region.
The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, reaffirmed the military's unwavering commitment to the protection of lives and property, emphasizing that community collaboration is critical in addressing security challenges.
If the society grows without the rule of law, there will be breakdown of law and order. And so people feel that crime pays because there is no punishment, no prosecution. And that's why it's very critical. Our legal system, our policing system, our correctional system must be up and running.
Governor Caleb Mutfwang, represented, reaffirmed the state government's commitment to peace and sustainable development in the region.
This initiative aims to empower communities to take the lead in conflict resolution.
Other speakers dwelt on the role of community leaders and women in peace building at community level. The Presidential Community Engagement Peace Initiative was then launched to run up the event.
Thank you very much.
NTA News.
159 mining companies are to resume mining activities in Plateau State after a review of their activities. Governor Caleb Mutfwang gave this indication while briefing newsmen in Jos. Bilkisu Nuhu has the report.
Governor Caleb Mutfwang had in February 2025 signed an Executive Order 001 of 2025 temporarily suspending all mining activities across the 17 local government areas of the state. A technical committee was thereafter inaugurated with a mandate to engage stakeholders in the sector to develop a framework that will ensure compliance with the Nigerian Minerals and Mining Act 2007 and its regulation 2011. After screening, 159 companies were cleared to resume mining activities, having met all the requirements.
These companies are broken into the following categories: 6 mining licenses, 15 small-scale mining leases, 15 exploration licenses, 5 artisanal and small-scale mining permits, 1 quarry lease, 118 tin sheds, stock buying centers.
Governor Mutfwang appreciates the citizens for their cooperation during the period and security agencies for their role in enforcement of Executive Order 001, saying this will lay a strong foundation that will put an end to illegal, explorative, and dangerous mining process that has plagued the state, contributing to insecurity. In Jos, Bilkisu Nuhu, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Jos. Nationwide continues in Abuja with Ogochikuka.
Thank you, Mary. And now straight up to political matters. The governing All Progressives Congress, APC, Rivers State chapter says there is no existing platform within and outside Rivers promoting the reconciliation of the suspended Governor Siminalayi Fubara and Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike. State chairman of the party, Tony Okocha, says the widespread statement that President Bola Tinubu might reverse the emergency rule was baseless and untrue, affirming that the rule was already gazetted by the houses of the National Assembly.
Within the bounds of my knowledge, and as somebody who had played and is still playing at the epicenter of all of these in Rivers State, I am not aware of any reconciliation or reconciliatory moves by Fubara and his team. On the 29th of May, when a steel team went to somewhere, he was assuring them that he will soon return, and that when he returns, that they should all be calm. That when he returns, all of them will go back to their offices. It's the reason, majorly, why they are busy in the grandstanding.
Tony Okocha adds that the recent media attacks on Wike's personality were irrational, unfortunate, and appealed to those who specialize in using unprintable languages to score cheap political points to desist. After days of critical discussions and high-level dialogues, priority actions emerged to drive progress in meeting 2030 Sendai framework goals. Mina Daniels highlights concrete takeaways as the global platform for disaster risk reduction comes to a close in Geneva, Switzerland.
2023 alone, 399 disasters claimed over 86,000 lives, affected 93 million people, and caused economic losses of approximately $202.7 billion. These alarming figures underscores the urgent necessity for a robust, accurate, and timely loss and damage assessment mechanisms to facilitate effective recovery and secure timely financial support.
I come to learn about partnership, because looking at, I know it is not just a Nigerian Meteorological Agency that is here. Key part of it is partnership and inclusiveness.
If you look at the people in town, as long as a media person comes up in front and tells them that this is coming, people pay attention to it more.
Pacific communities are small in terms of the terrestrial land, but big oceans community and very few people. This poses similar challenges, those when it comes to vulnerability of communities.
It was unanimously agreed by participants that the success of disaster risk reduction mechanisms hinges on inclusivity.
There are many countries that are willing to support the developing world and the least developed world to increase their infrastructure.
And as the doors of the GP 2025 for Disaster Risk Reduction Conference in Geneva, Switzerland closes for the year, the United Nations Office for Disaster Risk Reduction is full of hopes that the action achieved during the conference will materialize, achieving the Sendai framework in less than 5 years. From Geneva, Switzerland, Mina Daniels, NTA News.
The federal government is committed to collaborating with state and local governments to ensure Nigerians have access to healthcare services at all levels. The Executive Director, National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Muyi Aino, stated this during a meeting with performance and financial management officers in Enugu State as he received feedback on challenges and peculiarities in the healthcare system in the state, aiming to improve services. Dr. Aino highlighted the value of the Performance and Financial Management Officers Initiative by President Bola Tinubu's administration, noting that they are already making an impact by verifying information, guiding and providing oversight at health facilities, thereby enhancing accountability and transparency.
Program is going in the field and try to encourage them, but also hear from them to understand the challenges.
The agency's boss added that the officers would undergo training to familiarize themselves with the healthcare system, ensuring effectiveness and efficiency in their roles. And now the federal government is set to incorporate aquaculture into the irrigation scheme of the Hadija Jama'ar River Basin Development Authority as part of efforts to diversify dam utilization and boost local fish production. Yahanasu Hassan Barao reports that the authority's managing director, Suleiman Bichi, disclosed this during his maiden tour of irrigation sites, noting that the initiative is to cut down on the nation's heavy reliance on fish importation.
Nigeria currently spends about 1.2 billion annually on fish imports to meet local demand, a growing concern for the federal government. To reverse this trend, the Hadija Jama'ar River Basin Development Authority is set to integrate aquaculture into its irrigation schemes, aiming to boost local fish production and reduce import dependency.
We have to help the government of Suwaju Bola Tinubu to see how we can now not only provide food, but also livestock. We have our dams, so we can use it for fishing.
Behind me is Tiga Dam, one of the largest dams in Nigeria, a cornerstone of irrigation agriculture across Kano and beyond. For decades, it has sustained farming communities under the Kano River Irrigation Project, turning dry lands into productive fields.
This year, we are going to develop more irrigable lands. We are going to desilt our irrigation canals, and where possible, we are going to create new water bodies, water reservoirs for irrigation. I'm happy to say that people around this area are farming about 2 or 3 times in a year.
The authority is also expanding farmlands across Kano, Jigawa and Bauchi states and clearing invasive topographs to improve irrigation flow and increase productivity for thousands of farmers. In Kano, Yahana Hassan Barrow, NTA News.
We return to Yahana Hassan Barrow, who is also standing by to give us an update on this initiative. So, Yahanasu, what is the experts' opinion on this? Are they saying the initiative will enhance economic stability and, of course, contribute to sustainable agricultural practices, maybe including helping farmers manage climate risk and earn more income?
Yes, actually, that is what this initiative tends to target. Apart from farming, that is irrigation farming, which is what this dam has been providing. The managing director, he said, through the Ministry of Water Resources, is trying to diversify the uses of this dam into livestock production and fisheries, where Nigeria, he quoted, is spending billions of naira on importing this particular protein. And in addition, livestock production too is going to improve because there is going to be provision of fodder and other grasses that this livestock will feed on. So, and in addition, there is going to be provision of where these farmers, the herders, are going to settle. By doing this, the farmer pastoralist issue, which has been a problem in Nigeria, is also going to be addressed. The managing director, together with his team, have visited the Chalawa Dam, about 1 billion metric cubic meter, and the Tiga Dam too, which is close to 2 billion metric cubic meter. They've assessed these places, and what they have done now, they have made a committee that will look into ensuring that this dam is being diversified to not only livestock production, irrigation farming, fishing, but to also target the issue of tourism to generate more money for the country. And they're going to also visit Wudil and then down to Kafinchiri in Bauchi State, because all these places are under the authority.
All right, very interesting there. So how would this initiative encourage private sector participation and investments, especially in the fisheries sector?
It is surely going to, because the target is, to train youth on modern fishing. And already they have made an arrangement with the committees that are overseeing this to target like 4,000 youths in Kano State alone. And they're going to provide them with the startup training and other needs. And then it's going to be a form of cage farming, where these farmers are going to be trained, stayed in one place for them to be trained on this, fishing system that is done in areas of vaults where it is located in Ghana. They've gone there for a visit, they've seen for themselves, and this is what is going to be introduced here under the authority.
Naso in Kano, thank you very much for your contribution. All right, now talking religious matters. The Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs has confirmed that no casualty was recorded as a result of the recent fire incident at a hotel accommodating some Nigerian pilgrims in Makkah. This was when the committee members, led by Senator Ali Ndume, paid an assessment visit to the scene of the incident. Correspondent Jabilu Ibrahim has more.
The fire incident at one of the hotels accommodating some Nigerian contingent for this year's Hajj in Makkah has been a source of concern to all the relevant authorities and stakeholders. The Emiratus Sanan Hotel, located on Shari Mansour Street in Makkah, was hosting more than 480 Nigerian pilgrims from some 6 private tour operators companies. Members of the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, led by Senator Ali Ndumi, who are currently on an oversight mission in Saudi Arabia, visited the scene to assess the situation.
It's unfortunate, but alhamdulillah, there was no loss of life, and the Inakon are up on doing on it. We felt it is very important to come and see for ourselves what happened.
Nanahakon Chairman Professor Abdullah Hisal Osman told the Senate Committee that only 6 rooms were consumed by the fire, and the pilgrims were at Muna Valley when the incident occurred.
The more than 400 victims of the fire incident have been relocated to another accommodation, and the cause of the fire is yet to be ascertained.
This is the new hotel where all the victims have been relocated to immediately after their return from Muna. The Senate Committee is here to commiserate with the victims and to reassure them of their safety.
From Mina, they took us directly to this hotel. While we come here, get the accommodation, and everybody is okay.
The affected pilgrims have since resumed their normal life in the holy city, as most of them were said to be at the Grand Mosque of Kaaba as of the time of the Senate Committee's visit to their new accommodation. In Makkah, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA.
Now, Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has been conferred with another chieftaincy title from Igbo land. This time as the Ugo Simba I of Enugu. The recognition, which acknowledges her as a jewel of women empowerment, was conferred on her by the chairman, Enugu State Traditional Rulers Council, His Royal Highness Igwe Samuel Asadu. State House correspondent Adeni Taiwo reports that the conferment ceremony precedes the launch of the Free to Shine triple elimination campaign for the Southeast Zone in the state.
There, appreciation found ample expression in tradition as Enugu State Traditional Rulers Council conferred a chieftaincy title of Ugosimba I of Enugu on Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu. Their title, which recognizes her as jewel of women empowerment, is another toast to the First Lady's interventions and impact on the lives of women and the less privileged.
And as Igwe Samuel, His Majesty Igwe Samuel Ikechukwu Asado is mandated to recognize all this, because we can only recognize it when you're alive. We don't want to say this when you're not here. So on behalf of my brothers here, my fellow kings, I want to thank you and thank our father. Send this message to him that we thank him. Like I said, there's no vacancy in Asorok, just like there's no vacancy in the Lion Building here.
The First Lady received the honor with smile, pride, and a new sense of commitment to the development of Nigeria.
I thank you, and this moment will remain special in my heart, and I will always remember your people for the honor you've done me.
From the ceremony, the First Lady joined critical stakeholders in and around the health sector to flag off the Free to Shine Triple Elimination campaign for the Southeast Zone.
The goal of this campaign is to address the growing complacency in the response to the spread of HIV/AIDS in Africa. The Free to Shine campaign seeks to significantly reduce new HIV infections among women of reproductive age, prevent mother-to-child transmission, which is the vertical transmission, and ensure that every child born with HIV receives the necessary treatment and support to thrive.
Let me share experience termed my travel of living with HIV.
As survivors unpack their testimonies and brandish their victory against HIV/AIDS, the message of hope renewed against the menace of HIV/AIDS, syphilis, and hepatitis is clear. But so is the need for more resource mobilization and collaboration.
I believe with the concerted efforts of all stakeholders here present, especially as State First Ladies, who will help disseminate this message in their various states. This deadline can be attained by the grace of God, and I rely on you all to do the needful. Please, I'm going to repeat this again. I want to see your billboard in every state with your picture there, encouraging people to get tested and to get treatment.
This is not just a medical goal, it is a moral one, because these diseases are preventable and our people deserve to live free of them.
In the 2025 budget, adequate budgetary provision has been made to ensure that we do not have any gap in the supply of ART drugs, reagents for testing, and other essential inputs.
Since its maiden launch in January this year, the Free to Shine Triple Elimination campaign has gone around the country, drawing support and building coalition against killer diseases. From Enugu, Adeniyi Taiwo, NTA News.
And from Enugu, let me now, at this point, hand the baton to Anguli Okolo in Benin for the next set of reports. Hello, Anguli, it's good to see you.
Ogo, you're welcome to Benin. Worried by the growing insecurity in some parts of the state government says it will deploy modern technology to tackle crimes across the state. Governor Borobori disclosed this during a high-level security meeting with traditional rulers and security stakeholders. Susan Isu reports.
Insecurity in some part of Delta State is becoming increasingly alarming. These accounts for this high-level security meeting between Governor Sheriff Oborowori, the traditional rulers, council chairmen, and security chiefs. The governor said the renewed spate of kidnapping, court clashes, and court-related killings, drug abuse, is a wake-up call for security stakeholders to up their game in ensuring peace and security across the state.
The security in the state has been compounded by inflows of undesirable elements from neighboring states. Very soon we shall deploy technology to help detect and engage all these criminals undermining the peace of the estates.
The Speaker, Emomo Timiguwo, Chairman Delta State Traditional Rulers Council, who is also the Oroje of Okpe Kingdom, His Royal Majesty Major General Felix Mojakwero, retired, Ore 1, and the Commander 63 Brigade of the Nigerian Army, Asaba, Brigadier General Folu Shonibari, all agreed to join forces with the governor to ensure that kidnappers and criminals are dislodged.
Sometimes we even get information faster than the security agencies. So there's need for us, there's going to be a synergy between us, the local government chairman, and the security agencies.
So there's a lot of effort going on, and we'll not relent. We'll continue to do our best.
With this engagement with stakeholders, the days of criminal element in Delta State are numbered. In Asaba, Susan Esu, NTA News.
A joint security team led by the Edo State Commissioner of Police CP Monday Abonika has embarked on another round of bush combing exercise. The team took the exercise to different forests around Benin Sapele Road, Benin City. Uduakobong Achibong reports.
The joint security team made up of the Nigerian Air Force, Nigerian Army and the Edo State Police was at the target area to uncover where criminal activities and kidnappings have been reported. The security operatives used air cover from the Nigerian Air Force and a surveillance helicopter hovering round the forest. The Commissioner of Police, Monday Agbonika, said the collaboration with other sister agencies to reach the state of crime and criminality will be sustained.
We are introducing technology in this fight. Right now, we have acquired some drones which we are going to deploy immediately in the forests because we find that to be very, very appropriate if we need to monitor the forest.
On the fight against cultism, the CP said they will continue to fish out perpetrators from their hideouts until the state is safe for all.
Initially, we started by raiding cultists in their known hideouts. Then we started by checking of the roads to see whether we can discourage the activities of cultists. But now we have gone a step further. We are now going after them in their homes.
He appealed to residents to continue to feed them with useful information. In Benin, Uduakobong Achibong, NTA News.
That's it from Benin. We'll take a break. Salatu Lukman in Kaduna. We'll take it from there right after.
While staying tuned, you're still watching Nationwide, and you're welcome to Kaduna. The district head of Kachia, Alhaji Sabiu Suleiman, has described President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the governor of Kaduna State, Ubasani, as true nationalists for establishing the first federal university of applied sciences in Kachia, which will serve not only the people of the area, but Nigeria as a whole. Haruna Muhammad reports that the district head was speaking during his annual Salah homage to the people of community and visit to the correctional center in Kachia.
A tapestry of culture steeped in tradition is exemplified with the Salah homage to the palace of the district head of Kachia. One after the other, council members and the council's political hierarchy paid their respect in the spirit of Eid al-Adha. And in his disposition of looking out for his people, the district head Sabiu Suleiman and his entourage took Salah homage to hospitals and clinics, including correctional facilities in his domain, admonishing them to turn a new lease of life and become better ambassadors of Nigeria. The visit to the Kachia cemetery is to pray for the deceased and acknowledge the selfless service of the watchmen and staff.
So our district head will come around and see our patients and as well give them gifts that will aid them in balancing their charges in the hospital. It's very, very important.
What can we do to foster unity among the community, to show love, and especially to the less privileged? We decided to embark on this visitation.
Addressing the council members and other dignitaries, the district head acknowledged President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the governor of Kaduna State for the establishment of the first federal university of applied sciences in the area. He called for peace, unity and understanding among Nigerians for development to thrive.
The siting of the university will definitely improve the economic well-being of our people. We say thank you to Mr. President.
The occasion, which is an annual tradition by the district head of Kachia, Dr. Sabiu Suleiman, is aimed at strengthening unity across religious and ethnic divides, also featured prayers for the leaders and led for security and development of the society. Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
Away from Salah homage in Kachia, the ancient city of Zaria was awakened with the echoes of tradition. The city's mood was that of festivity, particularly during the Salah Daba, and the people were alive to the majestic horses on display, tradition of centuries gone, rekindled in the spirit of Eid al-Kabir. Muhammad Umar Ajingi brings us details of the celebration.
Here at the emirs of Zazzau's palace, the air pulsed with history and the courage of centuries past refreshing in the minds of the people. The Durbar ceremony was more than just a festival, but a procession of memory from every corner of the ancient city of Zazzau. The people came out in their large numbers to display their heritage, like the intricate caste traditions of India. Families emerge in vibrant processions to showcase their inherited legacies. The praise singers chanting poetic odes to the emir, and the heroes of the land, the warriors, displaying their strength. While the hunters dressed in skins and feathers march with the blacksmiths, a group of people with the skill of handling fire. Amid the jubilant fanfare, the Kaduna State Governor arrived at the venue. He watched the display of bravery and horsemanship with admiration and respect for the people of Zazzau.
It's one of the most important cultural traditions here in the Zazzau Emirates, and it also demonstrates the level of unity, the level of togetherness, the level of peace.
The people of Zaria were not only celebrating Salah, but they are telling the story of their heritage to the world in the sound of drumming hoofbeats. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umar Ajingi, NTA News.
That colorful display of Daba put together by Ajingi completes our package from here. Let's rejoin Ogochukuka in our Abuja studios.
Thank you, Salamatu, and that was very colorful indeed. And now, the Federal High Court sitting in Ikoyi, Lagos, has convicted and sentenced 9 Chinese to 1 year imprisonment each for cyber terrorism and internet fraud. The convicts are among the syndicate of 792 alleged cryptocurrency investment and romance fraud suspects arrested in December 2024 in Lagos during a sting operation conducted by EFCC operatives. They were subsequently arraigned on 1-count separate charge of cyber terrorism and internet fraud in February 2025 by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. They initially pleaded not guilty to the charges, and however, during the sitting on Thursday, June 5, 2025, they changed their plea from not guilty to guilty. In view of their pleas, Justice Osiago convicted and sentenced each of the defendants to 1 year imprisonment starting from the dates of arrest with a fine of 1 million naira each. The judge further ordered that upon completion of their prison sentence, the Comptroller General of Immigration should ensure that they are repatriated to their country of origin within 7 days. The mobile phones, computers, laptops, and routers seized from them at the time of arrest were forfeited to the federal government. And that concludes Nationwide today. We thank you so much for watching. Do have a blessed evening.